If you don't like it, just comb it out and start over. I since regret that decision. I just have some thin locks versus others. Wow, I didn't even say my real intro. Welcome back to All Things Nay. I'm Nay. If you're new here and you didn't know, that's crazy. And as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be answering comment lock questions. So these questions basically come from a lot of questions that I get on my lock page on Instagram. If you want to take a look at my photos that I take primarily of my lock page is Nay with the Locks on Instagram. And these are a lot of questions that I get in my DMs or on my comments, and I just thought that it would be beneficial to make a video for people who may have a lot of these questions. So let's just get right into the video. A lot of people ask me what size are my locks, and I think that that is such a subjective question because when I booked with my loctician, I booked for medium, right? But as your hair starts to lock, you can't really gauge what size your locks will be based on the parting. So I say that to say, for example, this is a lock. Is this fully locked though? I don't know because it's so thin. This is fairly thin to me compared to like this lock. Or there's some, I just have some thin locks versus others. Like this, is this the same one? Even this is a thicker lock than this. So my size is medium, but I feel like if you were to take your loctician a photo that you have of what you would like your locks to look like once they've matured, I think that'll help them determine what your loose hair looks like, what parting they should go with, what size the parts should be, and that can give you an idea of what size you'll have once your locks fully mature. So this goes into also how many locks do I have. I have currently 125 locks, but I started with 128, and I wanted actually let me check, because when I was thinking about getting locks, I put a note in my phone that I wanted 120 to 135 locks. I since regret that decision, but yeah, she hit it right on the head with 128, but I combined my locks recently to 125 total. Another question that I get often is how long did it take your hair to lock? I think this is, again, relatively subjective in that everyone's hair is going to lock at a different pace. I would say that my hair didn't feel like majority of my hair didn't feel completely locked until maybe like a year. This one lock, I remember this lock here because it had like a loose piece, and this was the first piece of loose hair that I cut off. But this lock has been fully locked since like month 8. It's kind of, I don't know why this one locked the quickest. People do say that the ones in the back lock quicker. And oh, this is a really small lock too, but they're really small back there. But I can see that. I guess. I don't really understand the science behind it, but it was true for me. The back definitely has locked quicker than the front. My hair texture is also different in the front, so it depends on your hair texture. My hair texture in the front has always been way looser than my hair texture in the back and in the middle, so these took a very long time to lock, but they're fully locked now. This is also a very small lock, but they're fully locked now. So except for like mostly the ends, like this one. And I feel like the way that we can tell, like how you can even tell that your hair is fully locked is like it feels very thick throughout. That's how I tell. That's how I assume that my hair is fully locked, because once you start locks, it's pretty soft. Like your hair is pretty soft. It's gonna be extremely frizzy. That's just what happens. But once your hair fully locks, you will typically experience a little less frizz. I think I still have some way to go, but like my hair doesn't frizz up as much as it used to, and it's very thick throughout the lock. I just still have some that like the ends need to catch up to the rest of the lock. But yeah, I say that my hair didn't feel completely locked until about a year. Why did I start with my parting pattern? So I have square parts. Let's see. So this is what my parting pattern looks like. And my scalp is dry, so don't judge me, because I just retwisted it a week and a half ago. I don't know what happened. I didn't do a good job, but I have square parts. I feel like my loctician did a pretty good job. Why did I choose to start with square parts? Because I don't know. I didn't really consider diamond parts. I feel like diamond parts can get difficult when you're trying to do certain styles, and I feel like they would be harder for me to maintain myself, which I plan to do with my locks, period, when I started them. I don't know. I know that there's like brick parting, which helps in the way that your locks fall. There's like circle parts. I just feel like you can choose whatever parting you really want once you just look into it, but some of them just make the locks look more fun. Like diamond parts, a certain diamond part style would look hard versus like a square part. So that's what I think about parting. Did I start my own locks? No, I did not start my own locks. There's not really a reason besides I just didn't want to. I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted a solid foundation. There are plenty of people who start their own locks, have a very solid foundation, have a great journey. So this isn't to say that you shouldn't start your own locks, but me personally, I did not start my own locks. I will put my loctician's Instagram in the description bar because I don't have Instagram on my phone right now to look it up. But yeah, I just found her based on looking up ATL starter locks on Instagram, which is also the way that you can find someone who starts starter locks in your city. You just want to look at their photos and be sure that their work looks like what you would like to have. And then on a different level, just being sure that you would want to be in that person's space to get your hair done. And also, like, we really have to be careful with who we let touch our crown. And so I would also just say kind of really try and lock in on like who they are, what their vibes are as a person. I also look for like a lot of repeat customers, because someone may come and get starter locks and realize they didn't like the vibe or they didn't like the work, go to someone else, but the loctician has already posted and reposted and reposted. So I would also look for repeat work when searching for a loctician. But if you want to start your own locks, go for it. Just make sure that you've researched hair to part ratio and parting patterns, or because I'm this type of person, just do it, because they not gonna lock in 2 days. If you don't like it, just comb it out and start over. And then another question that I get, how often should I retwist? I used to retwist my hair once every month, but since my locks have grown and matured, I think I retwist every 5 to 7 weeks, depending on how I'm feeling or what's like coming up. The reason that I do that is because I don't want to create too much tension, but then there's also a way to where if you wait too long to retwist, you could cause thinning. It's the science, it bothers me. It's a lot, but I don't know, like I just don't want to mess up my locks, so I kind of stay in between that. There are people who go like, at some point I wanted to be like one of those people who go like 2 months, 2.5, 3, and I might become that person. But right now, where my locks are in length and maturity, I'm just not that girl. A little bit too much frizz, a little bit, I can't do it. It just throws me off. It's harder to style. I can't do it. How often should you style your locks? That's up to you. Another question that I get is, how soon can you begin to style your locks? I styled my locks the very first time that I got them done, the second time that I got a retwist, the third time that I got a retwist. I think the fourth time I went without a style. The fifth time I styled. I've been styling my locks since I started my locks. So I think that you would be good to style your locks once you start them. I think that that is a better option because it, one, helps your locks stay still, as in like not unravel, not lose the retwist, especially if your hair is shorter and you're not too confident. And when I say shorter, I don't mean like can't even grip it. I mean like shorter, obviously. Short enough to be styled, but you feel like they're not long enough to be worn out. That's how I felt. So yeah, I styled as soon as I got them done. I feel like you can style as soon as you get them done if you'd like. I would warn about over styling, which I talked about in my previous lock video about my 15-month lock update. If you want to hear why you shouldn't over style and end up like me, go check that video out. I'm gonna link it in the description. But yeah, how often should you style? How soon should you style? All up to you. Just sharing my experiences with you. The last question that I get a lot is, how often do I retwist and what do I use to retwist? How often do I retwist? Currently it's every other day. So literally if I spray my hair, oil my scalp on a Monday, then I would do it again on a Wednesday, on a Friday. Honestly, I leave the weekends alone, but it would be like every other day. So that would equal up to like, out of a 7-day week, probably like 3 to 4 times a week. And I am using a few things. So in a spray bottle, I'll try and find the ingredients and put them in the description box. I put aloe vera water in a spray bottle. What else do I have in there? Wow, I made this concoction a while ago. I put aloe vera water. When I say a while, I mean like 3 weeks maybe. Aloe vera water, and I think right now I'm just using aloe vera water and distilled water. I was using rose water, but let me tell you about that. Okay, I was using rose water and I was using the pink bottle of rose water from the Heritage store, and I can't really tell if it was working or not, because I feel like when I started my locks, that's just what I saw everyone using, rose water, rose water, rose water. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it. I can't really tell if it was working or not because I wasn't really tapped in with my hair. But when you look at that bottle, it says that it's face spray, and I just feel like I'm not using this for my face, I'm using this for my hair, so I feel a little weird about it. So I stopped using it, and I'm not sure that I can tell a difference, which leads me to believe that it wasn't necessarily working. I know that you can make your own rose water, which honestly, I'm a DIY type of girl, but I'm not DIY to that extent. If I can purchase it, I'm just gonna purchase that, you know? But I just have to find a store or a black-owned business that sells like actual rose water and not the Heritage Store's rose water for your face. So yeah, I haven't been using rose water lately. I've just been using aloe vera juice in a spray bottle with distilled water, and then I also put my choice of oil in it and spray that in my scalp to begin with, because I had some breakage up here, which has kind of been a thing since my hair was shorter. I had like a bald spot, and then it kind of just grew slower than all the rest of my hair. And so I've been spraying that in my scalp to strengthen my hair, and then I spray it on my locks from a distance, run my fingers through it, and then I use my oil of choice. So most of the time I'm using Spectacular Styles hair growth oil, and I will also link that in the description box. I also have a video about that, how it grew my hair in 3 months. It grew my hair literally from nothing to something. Like, I was able, because you know when you cut your hair off, well, maybe you don't know, but when you cut your hair off, you're trying to get those box braids, you're trying to get those knotless now, since we're in the age of knotless. You're trying to be able to get a braid down for a wig, something. So I hopped onto Spectacular Styles hair growth, and when I tell you it grew my hair in 3 months, I got the pictures. I have the whole proof in the video. Go watch the video. I have to, like, I cannot let that oil go. It's 10 times better than wild growth oil. I hate wild growth oil. Don't care for wild growth oil. And so I use that, and I also use, when I don't have any more of that, I use castor oil, just regular Jamaican black castor oil on my locks. I start off on my scalp, and then rub it through my scalp, and whatever is left on my hands, rub it through my hands. I also was making the mistake of oiling my scalp first, then spraying my hair, and that's one thing that I just want to say. If you truly want to moisturize, you want to wet your hair first, basically. So not wet it to where you put your head under the sink, but spray it first, get it like misty first, and then use the oil, because if you put oil over dry hair, then you're just kind of sealing in dryness, which when someone said that to me, it really clicked. So if you're not doing that, make sure you're spraying first, then oiling. And then on a good day, I will put in some leave-in conditioner, which is just, it's half leave-in conditioner, half distilled water, and I will try and find the one that I use. I want to say it's Carol's Daughter, but you can find it in the description box. I spray that maybe like once a week because I'm still nervous about getting built up, but it definitely does help moisturize my hair. So I would say be sure that you are using that sparingly, but it works for me. So yeah, I think those are the most common lock questions that I get. And if you have any more questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram at Nay with the Locks, like I said, or leave a comment. I'm more active right now on YouTube than I am on Instagram, so I would probably see the comment before I see the DM, but whatever you like to do is up to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you finally got some answers to some questions that you may have about locks. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see more of my lock content and just me, because like, why wouldn't you want to see me, you know? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.